How do you deal with constraints in your life? With the opportunities this job gives you,
Yes,
it
sir.
also gives you tremendous constraints. How do you deal with that? How well do
Sir,
you deal with it?
sir, I think I'm very capable enough to deal with these kind of constraints because I believe myself as an emotional, intelligent person. So I will be able to understand that constraints are for a certain period of time and they'll not stay forever. Forever.
You talked about constraints, right? So, what were the constraints in your preparation?
Sir, the constraints are more mental, sir. There are mental pressures and anxiety about the career. In spite of giving too much into the preparation, I'm not able to get the adequate result. So I would believe that they are also constraints, but more of a psychological constraint, sir.
So, today we're talking about jobless growth in India, right? There's a lot of discussion about it. Why is this happening? That GDP continues to increase, but jobs are not increasing at the same time. Why is this a problem?
So there are various reasons for this. For example, sir, firstly, we do not have a large manufacturing sector. The India has graduated from being a agricultural economy to the service-oriented economy, but the manufacturing sector was missed. And the manufacturing sector is the traditional large employment generator. If we see various developed countries in the Western world, so we have missed the manufacturing bus. And also, sir, because the service sector is based on high skilled labor, and the agriculture sector is based on physical labor. But India is dominant in the low skilled and semi skilled laborers. And these can be accommodated in the manufacturing sector. Uh, but I think, sir, we are doing in terms of policy to focus more on manufacturing sector. For example, there is this PLI scheme so that we are also trying to increase the manufacturing sector so that traditional uh, labor intensive sectors like gems and jewelry, pharmaceuticals are getting a boost in providing the employment.
Okay, okay. You saw President Trump went into Venezuela and pulled out Venezuela's ruler and took him, and he's being tried in a court in New York. What do you think happened there, and why did it happen?
Sir, the Trump administration has done a military operation to excavate the sitting president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. And they have given various kinds of justifications, like he is promoting the narco terrorism in the country, and he is not allowing the American entities to tap into the oil market. And there is this increasing influence of other nations like China and Russia into Venezuela's affairs. So they have given these justifications, but I think no justification can be there in trying to interfere in the internal affairs of a country, and also going on and stealing a sitting president without any regard for the international laws and rules that we have established to preserve peace in the international order.
And what's been India's response?
Sir, India has exercised restraint in its response. It has said that it is concerned about the development, and it also called for the both the parties to resolve any kind of disputes peacefully, rather than going for military strategies or military actions.
And what did you think about that statement?
Sir, I think, sir, in diplomacy, sometimes silence will be in the national interest. So I think India is taking a very restrained position and it is watching the events very closely rather than going on and condemning the incident because it might be going against the national interest for which our foreign policy will work.
Okay, all right. I think you did very well, Vinay. Okay, let
Yes.
me say that. I think what you might benefit from doing is I you may have already done it, but top five discussions or issues around in the world, top 5 of the nation, and top 5 of your state. Okay, I want you to take a look at each these 15 issues. Okay, let's say in the global it will be, Gaza, Ukraine, Venezuela, climate change, AI, some things like that, right? Develop your strategic insight and write 4 or 5 lines. What is your strategic insight about this? I think the same thing about Indian issues. It could be jobless growth, which is big right now. It could be communal tensions. It could be India's relationship with its neighbors. Given what is going on with Bangladesh and earlier with Pakistan. It could be in terms of foreign policy. It definitely could be around Trump and US and India's changing nature. It's a very fluid situation with the India-US relationship, because you have come here of your own accord. That's why I was asking you about constraints, and you said mental constraints. I said
Yeah, yes, sir.
you missed a huge opportunity to make. I'm not putting words in your mouth, but
Yes, sir.
your life, like mine and many others in our country, is a story of constraints.
Yes, sir.
So, constraints, we all had very different starting points in our, right? And
Yes,
that's
sir.
the reality of a very unequal country, that
Yes,
people
sir.
have different starting points. So that is the only thing I'll tell you, which you may have, prepared, or you may have just missed in the heat of the moment. Sometimes that happens, right? So you can,
Sure.
and I don't have any doubts that you will be able to represent once you remember,
Yes.
because your articulation is good, your pauses are good, and all that. I think let's add a little bit of emotion,
Sure,
personal
sir.
stories. So they see that this person is not just an able person, but this person also has a vision. So just add that mix. I think you'll be good. Okay, Vinay.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.